So my role was event organizer for the celebration for the final event. And that was all aspects of that: programming, marketing, all organisational aspects. I mean, I think I was aware, although I live locally, I was aware there was a rich history to Bishop's Castle, but I wasn't really aware what it was. So I have learnt a bit about it through doing it, yes. It was hard to pick, so many. I think one of them would be the adaptability of people. I was quite surprised how every time we came up against another problem, which was usually COVID related, the team that we had on board were really can-do and not fazed by it. So everyone was good at coming up with another idea, or yes, that's okay, we can do that, we can adapt to that. So that would be one of the highlights. Another one would be, I work freelance and I'm based here, but in fact all of my work, I would say, is not locally. It's Birmingham centric or further afield. And it was really nice to work with the professionals on this team that were local, and to get to know people. That's on a very personal level, to get to know people locally who work in this field. And I think also the professionals on the project, I suppose two things. The professionals on the project were really, really lovely to work with, but also the sense of community and the wider community on the project, and the kind of buzz of people being involved in it, and the fact that we were able to have a bit of a buzz even though we couldn't have a live event. That was really lovely. Anecdotal things afterwards, like hearing, the activity packs took ages to make. And it was disappointing that we couldn't deliver them in the way that we wanted to deliver them, actually having people coming and sitting at a table with us and doing them. But hearing that kids have been busy for 4 hours doing their pack or whatever afterwards, those kind of things, that was really rewarding. Okay. Immense impact. What was going to be a project that lasted, would have been 6 to 9 month brief originally, ended up being 18 months. And I had to end up planning a project, 3 different projects. So originally I planned a completely live event that would have been happening here, and did a lot of research, finding some lovely stalls and someone who was going to run a Georgian coffee house and lots of things that would have happened here. Then it became clear that obviously we had to park the project, and then when picking up the project again, I was then planning a live project that would be COVID friendly. So obviously significant changes, but still elements of that original project in. Then as time came on, it became clear that we needed to plan a virtual project as well. So for a while, I was planning 2 projects in parallel because I had to make sure we were ready to go with either, trying to keep people on board, those stall holders and things. And then we did have to make a decision. And I think we made the right decision. It was difficult at the time because it was shortly after the announcement, and we had to decide, and it was absolutely right that we had to go virtual. But then for me, I wanted to try and have some flavour of the live things, even though we couldn't have them anymore. So yeah, massive impact, and massive impact in terms of keeping people on board. Thankfully, as I said earlier, people were very adaptable and coming up with ideas, but it was really full on because of that. I just another thought about the community that sits behind the project, and one of the things that really impressed me was with the John Kirkpatrick songs that would have been the Castle Carols and friends would have been rehearsing at the Tons or wherever and doing that live, and obviously they couldn't do that. And strangely, one of the benefits of being a virtual project meant that people who were not local were participating in singing those songs. People as far as America, I think Australia, Berkshire, Scotland, and I did drop it. I had quite a full-on workload, but I did try and drop in and do some of the singing as well. And it was a real buzz being in that community choir with all those people. And those people wouldn't have been here for the project. So, and I think that's quite interesting. I don't know whether, I know Castle Carols would prefer to be being live, as we all would with all events. But that is actually a benefit, that it reaches a wider circle because of that. And I thought that was lovely. I hope that, I mean, obviously the town guides have got new tours which incorporate these stories. And we have the lovely leaflets with the children's trail and the adults' trail. So that is a new offering as kind of a legacy of the project, if you like, for people visiting Bishop's Castle. So I think that will be significant change. I mean, there'll be documentation available on the project on the various sites and on the Heritage Resource Centre. So there'll be that information there for people to discover when they come and visit. I think people will be more aware of the history. And I think we do get a lot of tourism here in Bishop's Castle. So I think people will have that as part of the offering that they experience. I think Bishop's Castle punches above its weight for a small town in terms of what it has to offer. The stones here are of national significance and very unique for a town of this size, but very unique for the type of stones and carvings and quality that they are. So I think that's what Bishop's Castle has to offer.